We are going to be working on an iPhone 7, just a regular 7 and not a 7 Plus. These are the tools that you need to order online. Let's open this up and see what comes in the package. It looks like we have some spudgers. We have a triangular screwdriver for the iPhone 7 screws, and a pentalobe screwdriver, as well as 3 picks. We also have a replacement battery because the old battery has gone bad, and we have the double-sided adhesive battery stickers. These are the things you will need. The first thing you do is take your pentalobe screwdriver, and you see these 2 pentalobe screws. Well, those need to come out. So you just take your screwdriver and you start taking those pentalobe screws out. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So always turn the screws to the left. Also keep in mind that this is the regular iPhone 7 and it has a water resistant seal. But after this, it will not be water resistant because we have not ordered any waterproof tape. We have just ordered a replacement battery. So keep that in mind. You'll want to keep your phone out of the water once we replace this battery. Be sure to put your pentalobe screws where you're not going to lose them. You want to remember where you put them. And here's the second one. And you just take it out. Next, you'll want to take a hot air gun, and you will want to loosen up the adhesive underneath of the iPhone screen. This is where the water protection stickers come in, and they hold the screen to the phone very tightly. And if you try to remove the screen like you did on the other phones, it would more than likely crack the screen. So you need to loosen up the adhesive tape underneath by using the hot air gun first. Then you take the suction cup, and then you take a pick or an X-Acto blade. I'm going to use an X-Acto blade here. And then I'm going to use the pick, and I'm going to loosen up the screen. Now I'm going to take a spudger, and I'm going to loosen up the screen around the body of the phone. This way I will be able to remove the screen much easier and detach it from the adhesive glue and stickers that come on the iPhone 7s and above. You just take it along the sides. No need to put too much pressure. And then you'll want to do the other side the exact same way. So you can see how the screen is starting to come up. That's a good sign. And just keep going around the other side and until you have it all the way done. And you'll be able to see the screen start letting go of the frame. The phone powered on here because the battery is bad. That is what I'm changing, and I haven't been able to disconnect the battery yet. So it powers on whenever it wants. Now when you're taking this apart, you want to be careful because underneath, I'm pointing out, is flex cables that power the display, and you do not want to damage it. You'll see on the iPhone 7s, instead of up and down, it turns to the right and it opens. See, that's how you open the iPhone 7. And the first thing you want to do is to remove the plate that has the battery plug in. And this is where you're going to use that special triangular screwdriver, because these screws are triangular. It's something new that they put in for the iPhone 7. So you just take these screws out, and there is one screw that is bigger than the others. The rest of them are the same size. You do not want to get it confused. The one farthest to the top is the longest screw. Not this screw here, as it's just normal size. This next one is also normal size. Just keep turning. Oops. Let's get this screw out of here. And this screw up here, this is the longest screw, and you'll want to remember that. Just remember the one at the top is the longest one, so you don't get it confused when you put it back together. Next, you can just take some tweezers or whatever you're comfortable with and take this plate off of the phone, and underneath it's going to reveal some flex connectors. What you're going to want to do under here is, first of all, is unplug the battery, and it's right here. Now you just take plastic, not metal, in here, because metal could short something out. Take a plastic spudger and unplug that. Also unplug the screen, and the next thing you're going to do is where it says Taptic Engine. Now this is optional, but I'm just doing this so I will have more room to remove the battery. It has 3 screws that is just a small Phillips screwdriver is all you need, and you remove these 3 screws. And then once you do that, it should just pop up and out of your way. Now, here's where that X-Acto blade is going to come in handy in just a second. You see, on the newer phones, or iPhones, I believe 6 and above, they have the adhesive tape tabs. And you get these tabs, and you want to pull on them and stretch. And it will actually pull out from underneath the battery, and then the battery will be free. You kind of stretch it, and you want to do it consistently because you don't want it to break. And it's pulling the adhesive from underneath the battery, and then the battery is just going to lift off out of the case once these two double-sided adhesive stickers are out. And then I'm going to pull the second one out. Let's get it started. Let's pull that out of there. Okay. Next, we want to take the battery out, and as you can see, it's kind of clean under there. This is a pretty good phone. It's in good condition. And next, I have the replacement battery. I got a genuine battery, which means it's an Apple brand battery. I always like to buy brand name parts. These are the adhesive battery stickers, and you want that so your battery just won't move around inside. It comes from the factory like that, so you want to put them back. You take one side off, and you can kind of rub it down on the battery. This applies it to the battery. It sticks to the battery. And you can tell, as you can see the writing on the battery through the stickers, that it is definitely applying to the stickers. Next, you're going to take the protective film piece off, and the battery will be ready to stick inside of the case, and this will prevent the battery from moving around and will keep it in place. And you kind of make sure the flex cables and everything are out of your way once you put this in, and then you can kind of like apply the battery to the case. Just move your finger around on the battery and apply a little bit of pressure. Next, before you fix everything, you can go ahead and reattach the flex cables to the screen, and then you're going to test your work is what you're going to do before you get everything back together. First, we put the tap engine back in, and that's just those 3 Phillips screws. They're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about this one goes here or that one goes there, because they're all the same size. Okay. And sorry I'm talking so much. I'm just trying to be really descriptive here for, maybe people that have never done this before. Don't let any of this discourage you, because this is actually a very simple process. Now you want to reattach these flex cables here, and you don't put too much pressure on them. They kind of click into place, and you'll feel it kind of snap down. You never want to force it too hard, because that means it's not connecting right. They just snap right on there. And then before you put everything back together, you want to know that that battery that you got is working. So you want to power on the phone, and you want to test to make sure that you get a picture video on your screen. In this case, voila, it looks like it's working great. So I'm going to open it back up, and then I'm going to start doing the process of fixing it where I put it completely back together. Now, the power cable here is not bent in the exact place that it should be, so that it can tuck down beside the battery. And what I'm going to do is tuck this down beside the battery. I'm using a spudger once again. When you're in the inside of the phone, you will want to use something plastic so you do not short out the logic board or the battery, anything like that. So I made the flex cable where it folds down beside the battery as it should. And then it is time for me to put the metal plate back onto the logic board. Now remember, I said the longest screw goes in the top. I'm going to go ahead and put that one in first. And these are also the triangular screws, which means it takes that special kind of Y-shaped triangle screwdriver. And there will be 3 more of those from left to right. These next 3 will be kind of small screws. And believe it or not, we are really almost done with this job. It's not scary or too big or anything like that. Okay, then you just put in the middle screw. And then we have the last screw coming up, the third one, which is in the right hand side. Just put it in there ever so gently. And also another note, I like using magnetic tip screwdrivers so that I can place the screws in and get them started a lot easier. Much simpler that way. Then what you do is you push up first the screen and then fold it and then you start pushing down on the sides of the phone, and it should go easily. Do not force it if it's not going in easily, and it should just be flush and go right in on all four sides. Once this is done, you will want to put the pentalobe screws back in with the pentalobe screwdriver. You will just tighten those down, and there should be 2 of them. That one is tight. Let's get the second one. It goes in right there. And then we're going to tighten it down. Once this screw is tightened, we are now done. So give yourself a pat on the back. Your phone is like brand new again.